Welcome to fairy tales you shouldn't read, the stories that whisper something familiar, then lead you somewhere strange. Here, heroes don't always make the right choice. Goodness gets tired, and magic comes with a twist. Get comfortable. It's time to begin. The tale of the starling who lost his voice. In a very respectable forest where everything followed a strict schedule, lived a highly esteemed flock of starlings. They were serious birds, sang only approved melodies, and never allowed improvisation. But among them was born one very improper starling, Shumchik. Shumchik loved to sing in his own way. His songs were peculiar. Ooh, the happy little worm. He dances, he sings, he does not want to be eaten. His parents shuddered. What was that? The anthem of the worm revolution? Shumchik suggested hesitantly. Starlings don't sing like that, his father said sternly. But I am a starling. That means that by singing this way, I am expanding the boundaries of starling music. You are expanding the boundaries of our disgrace, his mother retorted. A decision was made instantly. Shumchik had to learn the proper song. His parents gave him a list of what was allowed and forbidden to sing. Chirick, trick, allowed. Cheek, cheek, allowed. The happy worm, forbidden. Love is like a cranberry, forbidden. Forest rock and roll, absolutely forbidden. Shumchik practiced diligently, but the more he tried to sing correctly, the less he remembered what his own song sounded like. And then, one morning he opened his beak, and no sound came out. Shumchik lost his voice. Life without a voice became difficult. His parents were shocked. How can you not sing? You told me to sing properly. I did exactly that, but now you're not singing at all. Well, at least there are no mistakes. The situation seemed hopeless. And so Shumchik set out on a journey to find answers. That's when he met the nightingale. The nightingale was strange. He sat on a branch singing, "Oh, pine trees, why are you so tall? Why can't you just be bushes?" Shumchik listened, spellbound. How do you do that? Do what? Sing so freely. How else would I sing? Well, actually, there are rules. The nightingale sighed deeply. Ooh, poor starling, they have truly tormented you. Shumchik didn't know how to respond, because he couldn't. Listen to yourself. You have your own song. You just lost it among all those correct and forbidden things. Shumchik thought hard. He tried to remember his melody, but nothing came to mind. The nightingale pondered and then said, Maybe you need to do something completely wrong. Shumchik hesitated. Like what? Well, for example, hop on one leg and sing about a pie made of worms. Shumchik reflected on his life choices that had led him to this moment. But he decided to try. He stood on one leg, took a deep breath, and silence. Maybe 2 worm pies? The nightingale suggested. Suddenly, from the bushes, a beetle flew out. I hate you all. What happened? The nightingale asked. Your songs, they're too loud. They're too cheerful. Why can't everyone just be silent? Shumchik opened his beak, but again, no sound came out. Oh, finally, a normal bird. He stays quiet. Well done, Shumchik, the beetle grumbled approvingly. Shumchik suddenly felt that he didn't like this at all. He didn't want to be silent just because the beetle liked it. He took a deep breath and sang. His voice returned, and with it, his own song. Oh, the world is like a leaf, and dreams flutter in the sky. I searched for my song, and now it's inside me. The beetle rolled his eyes. Oh, great, another one. But Shumchik wasn't listening to him anymore. Shumchik flew home with mixed feelings. He had his voice back. He had found his song. But what now? How would his flock receive him? What would his parents say? When he landed in his home forest, the starlings were already waiting for him. Oh, look who's back, Uncle Carl called out. I wonder what it will be this time, a full opera, rap, or maybe a love song about forest ticks. The other starlings laughed. Shumchik wasn't offended. He simply smiled. I found my song, he said. Oh no. His mother covered her eyes with her wings. Shumchik, please, no surprises. But what if it is a surprise? The starlings exchanged nervous glances. His father cleared his throat. Son, before you begin, let me remind you that in our flock, we have traditions, we have rules, we have... I know, Dad, but there's also... me. Silence. Shumchik lifted his head, took a deep breath, and sang. His voice was clear and confident. In his song there was everything. The rustle of leaves, the morning mist, the first flight under the stars, the joy of someone who has just found their true voice. It was not his parents' song. It was not Uncle Carl's song. It was his own song. Well, what do you think? He asked his father quietly. His father said nothing. His mother blinked in astonishment. Even Uncle Carl seemed to be thinking, a very rare occurrence. And then something unexpected happened. His father took a deep breath, spread his wings, and sang back. His voice was different, older, deeper, but in it was something new. Then his mother joined in, then another starling, and soon the entire forest was singing along. Not by old rules, not by tradition, but simply because they wanted to. For the first time in a long while, the starlings forgot about must and must not. They simply sang. The beetle, who had been sleeping peacefully under a bush, woke up in horror. What's happening here? He burst out from the grass and shouted, Another one! Another one! Now they're all singing. That's it. I need to move out. And with that, he left the forest forever. The flock kept singing, not because it was expected, not because it was tradition, but because they enjoyed it. Then Shumchik's father walked up to him and said, Son, you were right. Everyone should have their own song. Shumchik smiled. But you know Carl still thinks this is complete nonsense, right? Of course, but his song is grumbling, and I'm glad he hasn't lost it either. Moral: there are no right songs, only those that are real. There will always be someone who disapproves of your music, but you're not singing for them. If your song makes the beetle move out, you're on the right track. The end, and long live the freedom of voice. That's it for today. The tale was a little too strange, a little too close to the truth. But you know, every story dreams of being read. And maybe you were meant to hear this one. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the podcast, and drop a comment. Somewhere out there, another story is waiting, and it can't wait to be heard.